Well, you've just been admiring the beaded lanterns that I'll be teaching you on this online class. So this is my personal invitation to you to join me. Now, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the project so you can decide whether this is something that's right for you. It's an entirely peyote stitch project. You'll be using circular peyote, tubular peyote. There'll be a little bit of basic increasing and decreasing, but really all quite simple techniques here. And I've demonstrated all of them for you on video. So if you're new to peyote stitch, you can learn as you go along. Just bear in mind that this will be a learning process and you may hit a few stumbling blocks along the way, which is perfectly natural when you're learning something new. So that kind of covers who this is for. Anyone who enjoys peyote stitch, anyone who wants to learn peyote stitch. You're going to be working with Delica beads, size 11, so they're beads that most of you have probably got in your stash already. You may not have all the exact colours that I've used, but I have also shown you how to make changes to the colour schemes that I've chosen, so you can do that to suit the beads that you've got if you want. So let me show you a little bit more of the project, exactly what these lanterns are, and see if they're something that you would enjoy making. Okay, so these are the beaded lanterns that I'm talking about. Now these all happen to be Christmas designs, but they will work for any occasion, and I will be adding in more designs for different occasions like Valentine's, Halloween, maybe weddings, summer parties, who knows. I think, to be honest, that the opportunities are endless. So once you're enrolled on the class, you'll get to hear every time I release a new design, and you'll be able to bead those that you want to make and ignore those that you don't. But I wanted to just use these few samples to show you a few of the features of all of the lanterns. Now, you've probably noticed already, it's not your eyes fooling you, there is actually a slight difference in height across some of the patterns. So that is literally just determined by the design and the pattern. It's not a huge difference. We're talking all the designs are generally about 4 inches high and about 2 inches across. So they're perfectly sized to fit a little tea light. Now there's a few optional features on all of the designs. So the first one is the hanging loop. So if you want to hang your lanterns up, you can add the loop and then they'll suspend, maybe from a Christmas tree or from a hook in wherever, anywhere basically. If you want to just stand them around to decorate, then you can make them without the hanging loop, which is what I'm showing you here with this Santa's sleigh run. I'm actually going to add a hanging loop to mine, so I've still got my thread around ready to do that in a moment. Now the second option is something that I've called the frames. I'm sure they've got a technical term, but I've no idea what it is. But this is basically, on a real lantern, you wouldn't just have this circular piece of glass. You'd have some metal struts or frames that support it. So you have the option of adding those to your lanterns. Now I thought they worked really well on this snowflakes design because it's an abstract design, so the frames don't kind of impact upon the pattern in any way. But I wasn't so sure on designs like my snowman in the snowy forest. It's something I could add or maybe not. Similarly, if we look at the nativity scene, I was just a little bit concerned that I might end up with something that breaks up the pattern by going up from corner to corner. So it's just an option that's there for you to add in or not as the fancy takes you and as the pattern lends itself. So those are the optional extras. With all of the lanterns, I have created a design that will allow you to turn your tea light on and off. But just in case that's a bit tricky, or in case you want to switch out the tea light, the lids also come off. So you can take out the tea light, switch it on, pop it back in and pop the lid back on anytime, and you'd still be able to do that even while your lantern is hanging up. So there will be lots of design options, as I say. I'll give you details for each of those, but I think what we've got here is quite a simple basic structure, hopefully all the features that you need and a lot of options that you can choose to use to make these your own. So let me tell you, if you're interested in making some of these, let me tell you how the class is going to work. Okay, so we've talked techniques, we've talked experience level, you've just seen the lanterns, the project that you'll be making. So how does this class work now? Well, basically, once you've enrolled, you can start the class whenever you're ready. You can follow along at your own pace and in your own time. And you've got access to this for as long as I have a school here on the Teachable platform. And since I've got no plans to change that, we'll call that lifetime access. Now within the class, I've given you a PDF tutorial which will be exactly what you would expect from a beading pattern. So it's got step-by-step descriptions of what you need to do, diagrams to show you thread paths, photographs to show you how everything takes shape. You can download that and work from that away from the class. But you've also got a lot of videos within this class that are demonstrating everything. So I've got demonstrations of the basic techniques for anyone who needs to learn those or simply just revise them. And I've got demonstrations of all the different sections of the lantern, so you can see it coming together in 3D alongside the written instructions, photos and diagrams. So that just gives you a lot more information than you would be getting from just a written pattern. Then on top of that, within the class you can also ask me questions if you get stuck, or you can leave comments, share advice or colour schemes or what you're doing with other students on the class as well. So there's a slightly interactive element to this too that you wouldn't be getting if you were just taking a pattern and beading on your own at home. So really it's giving you all the elements that you would expect to find in any beading class, but just with the added benefits that you can take the class at your own pace, in your own time, and from the comfort of wherever you enjoy beading. So I'm hoping that this is something that you would love to do. At the moment, as I'm launching the class, I've got a collection of Christmas designs for the lanterns, but I haven't called this Beaded Christmas Lanterns because I can see a big future for this outside of the festive season. I can see lanterns for Valentine's Day, and can you imagine candlelit dinner with a beaded lantern? Would be pretty nice, I think. Obviously lanterns for Halloween are an obvious one, but then I thought, maybe you could use these as decorations for a wedding or hang them around in a summer garden party. So really, there's endless options here. I've got tons of ideas, and once you're inside the class, you can make some suggestions or some requests as well. So this is a project that you will be able to keep on revisiting over the years, enjoy lots of options in all of this, and I would absolutely love to welcome you into the class and join everyone else here so we can all have fun with this beading project, share our experiences and enjoy some beaded lanterns. So, are you going to be joining me?